The Golden Globes happened last night, and obviously nobody cares. Award shows are stupid, etc. But the story of the night, if there is a story, is the guy they found to host the show. And now the background here on this is that nobody wants to host the Golden Globes anymore. You know, like 15 years ago, they would not have had this problem. If they want to find someone to host the Golden Globes, I imagine it would have been a line a mile long of people in Hollywood who would love to host the show. But now, the show is a disaster. It's a ratings disaster. Nobody cares. And so nobody wants to be associated with it. And they asked a bunch of people. They asked Chris Rock, and he didn't want to do it. They asked Tina Fey, and she didn't want to do it. They asked everybody until they finally got to this guy whose name is Joe Coy, who is allegedly a comedian. Now, all you need to know about Joe Coy is that he came onto the scene, whatever scene he's on, I don't know, by appearing on Chelsea Handler's show. So that was that was his way into the business. So he's on the Chelsea Handler comedic tree. And that's a tree that has fallen over in the forest and nobody heard it. And now it's rotting on the ground and there are worms living inside it. And that's the tree that he's on. So needless to say, the guy bombed, and he bombed because he's an unfunny hack. But specifically because he tried to pull a Ricky Gervais and kind of roast the audience. But he doesn't have Ricky Gervais's wit and intelligence, which you kind of need. And he also, I think more to the point, he doesn't have Ricky Gervais's actual willingness to offend these people. Which if you're going to get up there and make fun of them for our amusement, then you have to be willing to upset them, which Ricky Gervais did, infamously. So Joe Coy's opening monologue ended up being the most milquetoast, corniest thing imaginable. And just to give you a quick taste of it, here he is kicking things off. Let's watch a little bit of this.
Welcome to the 81st Annual Golden Globes. I'm your host, Joe Coy. I loved Oppenheimer. I just got one complaint. Needed another hour. I felt like it needed some more backstory. Oppenheimer answered a lifelong question that's been on my mind for years. Yes, scientists do get laid. As long as they look like Cillian Murphy. I watched Barbie. I loved it. I really did love it. I don't want you guys to think that I'm a creep, but it was kind of weird being attracted to a plastic doll. It's just something about your eyes, Ryan. Killers of the Flower Moon is so great. Killers of the Flower Moon, the cast is here. The one thing I learned about that movie is that white people stole everything. You guys stole everything. Not like 97%. You guys stole 100% of everything. You took the land, you took the oil, you took the premise of the movie. What, that was your premise? That's hilarious, I don't care. It's just that the room is really white. I watched Saltburn.
All right, so that's the basic idea. It's bad. I mean, it's bad. You're bombing. When he was getting some polite laughter there, but when you can't get a laugh, like a performative big laugh at the Golden Globes by making fun of white people, if you can't get that, I mean, that should be your crowd pleaser. Like that's something you fall back on if you're bombing, and then you go, you know what? And white people, am I right? They're terrible. They're just and then you get applause and laughter, and the whole crowd goes nuts. But even that wasn't working for him as much. So that's how bad it was. So bad that you watch that, and you almost are longing for the stinging comedic brilliance of Trevor Noah. Like that's how bad it. They might as well have Hannah Gadsby host next year. They might as well just open the show with Hannah Gadsby rambling for 45 minutes about how she's sad and obese. You might as well do that at this point. It would at least be, well, it wouldn't be any funnier, but it would at least be maybe in a weird way slightly more interesting. But here's the thing that's the saddest thing about this is that the people in the audience were obviously not amused, but it's not because he's unfunny. It's because they were actually offended by these tame, corny jokes. So just to show you what I mean, watch this moment where he has the tamest joke imaginable about Taylor Swift. And then look at her reaction. Watch.
as you know, we came on after a football doubleheader. The big difference between the Golden Globes and the NFL, on the Golden Globes, we have fewer camera shots of Taylor Swift. I swear. There's just more to go to here. Sorry about that.
And he apologizes too. So the joke is not funny. It's tired and lame. But Swift isn't really reacting like it's a corny joke. Like she's visibly mad about it. She's offended by that joke. And that's why Joe Coy is doing this and not Ricky Gervais. These people cannot stand even the gentlest bit of teasing. Like that's how seriously they take themselves. The most cliched, hacky jokes are too much. Like I bet if you called Taylor Swift on the phone and she picked up and you said, "Is your refrigerator running?" And she's like, "Yeah, I think it is." And then you said, "Well, you better go and catch it." She would hang up and cry. She would cry over that. It's such a devastating joke to her that she would cry over that. And that goes to show. I guess that also shows why nobody wants to host this thing. Hey, YouTube, thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like access to my full show with no ads, you should go to dailywire.com and use promo code Walsh to get 2 months free on all annual plans. See you there.